The Grand Hall of the Galactic Council buzzed with excitement. Today was a historic day. Humans, the newest species to join the interstellar community, were about to take their seat for the first time. Ambassador Sarah Chen stood tall, her heart racing as she led the small group of human delegates into the massive chamber. Thousands of alien eyes turned to watch them. Some looked curious, others seemed indifferent, but many wore expressions of barely hidden disdain. "Ah, the humans have arrived," announced High Counselor Zixtal, his tentacles waving lazily. "How kind of them to grace us with their presence." His words dripped with sarcasm, drawing chuckles from several other council members. Sarah took a deep breath, reminding herself to stay calm. She had expected some resistance, but the open hostility surprised her. "Thank you, High Counselor," she said, her voice steady. "We are honored to join this esteemed body." As the human delegation took their seats, whispers filled the air. Sarah could catch bits and pieces of conversations in various alien languages, thanks to her universal translator. "Look at how fragile they are," one insectoid being chittered. "I hear their ships are made of scrap metal," another blob-like creature gurgled. "They'll be begging for our protection within a cycle," a towering reptilian sneered. Sarah clenched her fists under the table. Earth had worked hard to reach this point. They had overcome countless challenges, united their planet, and developed faster than light travel. Yet here they were, being treated like children who had wandered into an adult's meeting. The formal proceedings began, with various species presenting reports and discussing galactic matters. When it came time for Earth to speak, Sarah stood up, ready to present humanity's case for increased trade and cultural exchange. Before she could begin, an avian creature with brilliant plumage interrupted. "Esteemed colleagues," it squawked, "are we really going to waste time listening to these newcomers? What could they possibly contribute?" Murmurs of agreement rippled through the chamber. Sarah felt her face grow hot, but she held her ground. "We may be new to your council," she said firmly, "but humanity has much to offer. Our adaptability, creativity, and determination." "Yes, yes," Zixtal cut in, waving a tentacle dismissively. "We've all heard about human determination. Tell me, Ambassador Chen, how does your determination stack up against a Krullex battle cruiser or a Valaxian energy cannon?" The chamber erupted in laughter. Sarah's fellow delegates shifted uncomfortably in their seats. This was going worse than they had imagined. "Our military capabilities are not to be underestimated," Sarah replied, her voice tight. "We have faced many challenges in our history and always—" "Always what?" "Survived." A hulking four-armed being growled. "Surviving is not thriving, little human. Out here, among the stars, you need more than just the will to live. You need power." Sarah opened her mouth to retort, but Zixtal raised his voice. "I believe we've heard enough from Earth for today. Let us move on to more pressing matters." As Sarah sat down, she could feel the weight of failure settling on her shoulders. Earth had pinned so much hope on this moment, on finally being recognized as equals among the galactic community. Instead, they had been laughed at and dismissed. Back on Earth, in a secure facility deep beneath the Rocky Mountains, General Maria Rodriguez watched the council proceedings with growing anger. She turned to her team of engineers and scientists, determination blazing in her eyes. "Double your efforts," she ordered. "Project Dreadnought just became our top priority. If the galaxy won't respect us, we'll give them a reason to fear us." As the engineers scrambled to comply, Maria looked back at the screen showing the Galactic Council. A grim smile played on her lips. "Laugh while you can," she muttered. "Humanity's about to teach you a lesson you'll never forget." The Earth's delegation returned from the Galactic Council with heavy hearts. Their dreams of a warm welcome into the galactic community had been shattered. Instead of respect, they had received mockery and disdain. Ambassador Sarah Chen stood before the United Earth Council, her face grim as she delivered her report. The chamber was silent as she recounted the humiliation they had endured. "They laughed at us," Sarah said, her voice tight with anger. They called our ships scrap metal and dismissed our entire species as weak and primitive. President Amelia Rodriguez leaned forward, her eyes narrowing. And how did you respond, Ambassador? Sarah straightened her shoulders. I tried to assert our worth, Madam President, but they wouldn't listen. They don't see us as equals. They see us as pets at best. Murmurs of outrage filled the chamber. President Rodriguez raised a hand for silence. This is disappointing news, but not entirely unexpected. We knew we'd face challenges. The question now is, how do we proceed? General Maria Rodriguez, no relation to the president, stood up. Madam President, honored council members, I believe I have the answer. She pressed a button, and a holographic image appeared in the center of the chamber. It showed a massive ship, unlike anything Earth had ever built. Project Dreadnought, Maria announced, our response to those who would mock us. The council members leaned in, their eyes wide with awe. The ship in the hologram was sleek yet intimidating, bristling with weapons that even the Galactic Council's most advanced species would envy. How? How is this possible? One council member asked. We don't have this level of technology. Maria smiled. Not yet, but we will. This design incorporates everything we've learned from studying alien tech, combined with good old human ingenuity. It's ambitious, yes, but it's our best chance to earn the respect we deserve. President Rodriguez studied the hologram, her expression thoughtful. The costs will be enormous. The technical challenges, unprecedented. With all due respect, Madam President, Sarah interjected, can we afford not to build it? You didn't see how they looked at us. If we don't prove ourselves soon, we'll be nothing more than a footnote in galactic history. The chamber erupted in debate. Some argued for diplomatic solutions, others for isolation. But as the discussion raged on, a sense of determination began to grow. Finally, President Rodriguez called for a vote. The result was clear. Project Dreadnought would proceed. As the council dispersed, Sarah approached General Rodriguez. Do you really think this will work? She asked quietly. Maria's eyes gleamed with conviction. It has to. We've always been at our best when our backs are against the wall. This is no different. Over the next months, Earth threw itself into Project Dreadnought with a fervor not seen since the early days of space exploration. Scientists worked around the clock, pushing the boundaries of physics. Engineers performed miracles of construction. Every resource was dedicated to the project. But the Galactic Council wasn't idle. Reports came in of increased alien activity near Earth's borders. Diplomatic channels went silent. The tension was palpable. One day, as Sarah was reviewing the latest intelligence reports, an aide burst into her office. Ambassador, you need to see this. Sarah rushed to the command center, where a large screen showed a fleet of alien ships entering the solar system. At their head was a massive vessel that dwarfed everything around it. They're hailing us, a communications officer reported. The screen flickered, and the smug face of High Counselor Zixtal appeared. Greetings, humans, he said, his tentacles twitching with amusement. We thought it was time to check on our less advanced neighbors. I do hope we're not interrupting anything important. Sarah's fists clenched at her sides. She looked at General Rodriguez, who gave a slight nod. They both knew. Earth wasn't ready. The Dreadnought was still months from completion. As Zixtal continued his condescending speech, Sarah's mind raced. They needed time. They needed a miracle. But most of all, they needed to prove that humanity would not bow down, no matter the odds. Taking a deep breath, Sarah stepped forward to address the alien fleet. The fate of Earth hung in the balance, and she knew her next words could determine the future of her entire species. Sarah Chen took a deep breath, her eyes fixed on the smug face of High Counselor Zixtal on the screen. The fate of humanity rested on her next words. High Counselor, she began, her voice steady despite her racing heart. We welcome you to our solar system. However, I must insist that you withdraw your fleet immediately. This is sovereign human space. Zixtal's tentacles twitched in amusement. Or what, little human? Will you throw rocks at us? Laughter echoed from the alien bridge. Sarah's eyes narrowed. We may surprise you, counselor. Humanity has faced overwhelming odds before. We always find a way. As Sarah kept the aliens distracted with diplomatic talk, a flurry of activity was happening behind the scenes. In the depths of Earth's secret shipyards, engineers and scientists worked frantically. General Maria Rodriguez's voice crackled over the comm. We need more time, Ambassador. The Dreadnought isn't ready. Sarah's mind raced. They needed a miracle, and they needed it now. Suddenly, an idea struck her. It was risky, potentially disastrous, but it was their only chance. High Counselor, Sarah said, a hint of a smile playing on her lips. Perhaps you'd like a tour of our solar system. We may be less advanced, but I assure you, we have wonders that would impress even you. Zixtal's eyes narrowed suspiciously, but curiosity got the better of him. Very well, human. Amuse us with your little tour. Over the next few hours, Sarah guided the alien fleet through the solar system. She showed them the storm of Jupiter, the rings of Saturn, the frozen beauty of Pluto. All the while, she wove tales of human mythology and science, keeping the aliens intrigued. Meanwhile, in a hidden asteroid belt facility, the Dreadnought stirred to life. Engineers made final adjustments, weapon systems came online, and the massive engines hummed with barely contained power. Just as Zixtal's patience was wearing thin, a message flashed on Sarah's screen. It's ready. Sarah's heart leaped. She turned back to the alien fleet. High Counselor, we've saved the best for last. Allow us to present humanity's crowning achievement. At first, nothing seemed to happen. Then, the asteroid belt began to shift. Rocks and ice moved aside, revealing a massive shape hidden within. The Dreadnought emerged, its sleek hull gleaming in the starlight. It dwarfed the alien ships, its weapons arrays making even Zixtal's flagship look like a toy. Silence fell over the communication channels. Sarah could see the shock on Zixtal's face, his tentacles frozen in disbelief. Impossible, he whispered. The Dreadnought's engines flared to life, propelling it towards the alien fleet with impossible speed and grace for a ship of its size. It came to a stop right in front of Zixtal's flagship, its weapons powered but not targeting. General Rodriguez's voice boomed across all channels. This is General Maria Rodriguez of the United Earth Forces. You are in violation of human space. You have 1 hour to retreat beyond the orbit of Pluto. Any hostile action will be met with immediate and overwhelming force. Sarah watched as panic spread across the alien bridge. Zixtal's smug demeanor had vanished, replaced by fear and confusion. You tricked us, Zixtal sputtered. This changes nothing. We are still the Galactic Council. We have rights. Your rights, Sarah cut in, end where our sovereignty begins. This is our home, Counselor. We will defend it. For a tense moment, no one moved. Then, slowly, the alien ships began to turn. Within the hour, they had retreated past Pluto's orbit, the mighty Galactic Council fleet running from a single human ship. As the last alien ship disappeared from their sensors, cheers erupted in command centers across Earth. They had done it. Against all odds, humanity had stood its ground. Sarah turned to General Rodriguez, a mixture of relief and pride on her face. What now? She asked. Maria's eyes gleamed with determination. Now we show the galaxy who we really are. The Dreadnought was just the beginning. It's time for humanity to take its rightful place among the stars. As news of the confrontation spread across Earth, a new era dawned for humanity. No longer would they be the laughingstock of the galaxy. The age of human ascendancy had begun, and the stars themselves seemed to shine a little brighter in anticipation of what was to come. The news of Earth's Dreadnought spread through the galaxy like wildfire. Many species were in awe of human ingenuity, but the Galactic Council was far from pleased. They saw the Dreadnought as a threat to their authority and were determined to undermine Earth's newfound confidence. 2 weeks after the confrontation, Ambassador Sarah Chen found herself once again in the Grand Hall of the Galactic Council. This time, however, the atmosphere was different. Gone were the dismissive glances and mocking whispers. Instead, the air crackled with tension and barely concealed hostility. High Counselor Zixtal called the meeting to order, his tentacles twitching with agitation. "We are here to discuss the recent incident in the Sol system," he announced, his voice dripping with disdain. Sarah stood tall, ready to defend Earth's actions. But before she could speak, a cacophony of voices erupted from the assembled delegates. "The humans have gone too far," shouted a reptilian being. "They threaten the balance of power. Their weapon is an abomination," screeched an avian creature. "It must be dismantled immediately." Sarah tried to interject, but her words were drowned out by the growing uproar. She caught snippets of conversation from all around her. "I heard their Dreadnought is powered by an enslaved star. They probably stole the technology from more advanced races. Humans are too dangerous to be left unchecked." Finally, Zixtal raised all 4 of his arms, calling for silence. "Ambassador Chen," he said, his voice sickly sweet, "perhaps you'd like to explain how your peaceful species came to possess such a weapon." Sarah took a deep breath, steeling herself. "The Dreadnought is a defensive measure, nothing more. After the treatment we received from this council, we felt it necessary to protect ourselves." "Protect yourselves," a blob-like creature oozed forward, "or prepare for galactic domination." Laughter rippled through the chamber. Sarah felt her face grow hot, but she maintained her composure. "We have no such intentions. We only wish to be treated as equals." "Equals?" Zixtal scoffed. "You build one impressive ship and suddenly think you're on par with species that have traveled the stars for millennia. How charmingly naive." More laughter followed. Sarah gritted her teeth, remembering General Rodriguez's words. "Don't let them see weakness." "We may be new to your galactic community," Sarah said firmly, "but we've faced challenges you can't imagine. We've united a planet of diverse cultures and overcome countless obstacles. The Dreadnought is just one example of what we can achieve when pushed." A hulking, 4-armed being leaned forward. "Pretty words, human. But actions speak louder. Your Dreadnought is a clear act of aggression." "Aggression?" Sarah countered. "Was it aggression when your fleet entered our solar system uninvited? When you mocked and belittled us at every turn? We acted in self-defense, nothing more." The chamber erupted into arguments once again. Accusations flew back and forth, with more and more outlandish claims about the Dreadnought's capabilities being tossed around. As the chaos unfolded, Sarah noticed a few delegates watching silently, their expressions thoughtful. Not everyone, it seemed, was buying into the council's narrative. Zixtal finally managed to restore order. "It is clear," he announced, "that the humans cannot be trusted with such powerful technology. We demand that the Dreadnought be turned over to the council for safekeeping." Sarah's eyes narrowed. "I'm afraid that's impossible, High Counselor. The Dreadnought belongs to Earth and will remain under our control." "Then you leave us no choice," Zixtal said ominously. "This council hereby declares Earth to be a threat to galactic peace. Until the humans surrender their weapon, they will be considered hostile to all civilized species." Gasps and murmurs filled the chamber. Sarah stood shocked, unable to believe what she was hearing. In one swift move, the council had branded Earth as enemies of the galaxy. As the delegates began to file out, many shooting hateful glances her way, Sarah's mind raced. This was worse than she could have imagined. She needed to warn Earth immediately. Little did the council know, their actions were about to set in motion a chain of events that would shake the very foundations of the galaxy. Humanity, pushed into a corner, was about to show the universe what they were truly capable of. The news of Earth being declared a galactic threat spread quickly. Within days, human colonies on distant planets reported harassment from alien species, Trade routes were blocked, and diplomatic channels went silent. The galaxy was turning its back on humanity. On Earth, the United Earth Council convened an emergency session. The atmosphere was tense as Ambassador Sarah Chen delivered her report. "They'd branded us enemies of the galaxy," Sarah concluded, her voice tight with anger. "All because we dared to defend ourselves." President Rodriguez leaned forward, her eyes narrowed. "What are our options?" General Maria Rodriguez stood up, her face grim. "We've detected multiple alien fleets moving towards our territory. It seems the Galactic Council isn't content with just isolating us. They want to make an example of Earth." The room fell silent as the implications sank in. Humanity was facing its greatest threat since unification. "We can't back down now," Sarah said firmly. "If we surrender the Dreadnought, we'll be at their mercy forever." President Rodriguez nodded. "Agreed. General, prepare our defenses. We'll show them that humans don't go down without a fight." As the meeting adjourned, alarms blared throughout the complex. A young officer burst into the room, his face pale. "Madam President, we've got incoming. A Krulix battle fleet has just entered the solar system." The Krulix, known for their aggressive expansion and advanced weaponry, had always been one of the most vocal critics of humanity in the Galactic Council. Now it seemed they had decided to take matters into their own claws. In orbit around Earth, the human fleet scrambled to intercept the invaders. The sky lit up with energy beams and explosions as the two forces clashed. Despite their bravery, the human ships were overwhelmed by the superior numbers and technology of the Krulix. On the ground, people watched in horror as pieces of destroyed ships rained down from the sky. The Krulix fleet pushed forward, breaking through Earth's defensive line with ruthless efficiency. In the command center, General Rodriguez watched the battle unfold with growing desperation. "We can't hold them off much longer," she reported. "Our conventional forces are taking heavy losses." President Rodriguez's face was etched with worry, but her voice remained steady. "What about the Dreadnought?" "It's our last line of defense," General Rodriguez replied. "But it's never been tested in real combat. We don't know if it can stand up to a full Krulix battle fleet." Sarah Chen stepped forward, her eyes blazing with determination. "We have no choice. It's time to show the galaxy what humanity is truly capable of." President Rodriguez nodded solemnly. "Do it. Unleash the Dreadnought." Deep in a secret hangar beneath the lunar surface, the Dreadnought hummed to life. Its massive engines ignited, pushing the behemoth ship out of its hiding place and into the chaos of battle. As the Dreadnought emerged from behind the moon, a hush fell over both human and Krulix forces. The ship was even more impressive in combat than during its first reveal, its hull gleaming with energy shields, and its weapon arrays pulsing with power. The Krulix admiral, a scared veteran of 100 battles, felt a chill run down his spines. "Impossible," he muttered. "No primitive species could build such a weapon." But the humans were full of surprises. The Dreadnought surged forward, its advanced propulsion system allowing it to move with a speed and agility that belied its massive size. The first volley from the Dreadnought's main cannon tore through 3 Krulix cruisers as if they were made of paper. The alien fleet, caught off guard by the sheer power of the human ship, fell into disarray. As the battle raged on, the tide began to turn. Human ships rallied around the Dreadnought, their morale soaring at the sight of their superweapon in action. The Krulix, for all their advanced technology, found themselves outmatched by the combination of human ingenuity and raw firepower. In the command center, cheers erupted as reports of Krulix ships retreating poured in. But General Rodriguez remained focused, her eyes fixed on the tactical display. "This isn't over," she warned. "The Krulix were just the first wave. The real battle for humanity's future is just beginning." As if to punctuate her words, new alerts flashed across the screens. More alien fleets were detected entering the solar system. The Galactic Council, it seemed, was throwing everything they had at Earth. Humanity had won its first major battle, But the war for their place in the galaxy was far from over. The Dreadnought had proven its worth, but would it be enough to face the combined might of the entire Galactic Council? The fate of Earth hung in the balance as the greatest conflict in human history unfolded among the stars. The solar system had become a war zone. Debris from destroyed ships cluttered Earth's orbit, a grim reminder of the battle's cost. But there was no time to mourn. More alien fleets were arriving, their weapons primed for Earth's destruction. In the command center, General Maria Rodriguez surveyed the tactical display with grim determination. "The Valaxians have joined the fight," she reported. "Their energy weapons could be trouble, even for the Dreadnought." President Rodriguez nodded, her face etched with worry. "What about our allies? Surely some species in the galaxy must see the injustice of this attack." Ambassador Sarah Chen shook her head. "Most are too afraid to stand against the Galactic Council." But her eyes lit up suddenly. "I have an idea. It's risky, but it might just work." As Sarah explained her plan, a smile spread across the president's face. "Do it," she ordered. "In the meantime, we'll hold the line." The Dreadnought, battle-scared but undefeated, moved to intercept the incoming Valaxian fleet. Its massive form dwarfed the human ships around it, a titan among ants. Inside the Dreadnought's control room, Captain Zora Lee felt the ship hum with power beneath her feet. "All hands, battle stations," she commanded. "Let's show these aliens what humanity can do." The Valaxian fleet opened fire first, their energy beams lancing across space towards Earth. But the Dreadnought was ready. Its advanced shields flared to life, absorbing the attack with ease. "Return fire," Captain Lee ordered. The Dreadnought's main cannon charged up, glowing with an otherworldly light. When it fired, the beam cut through space itself, slicing through 3 Valaxian capital ships in one shot. The aliens, caught off guard by the sheer power of the human weapon, fell into disarray. But they quickly regrouped, focusing all their firepower on the Dreadnought. Energy beams and missiles pounded against the Dreadnought's shields. Alarms blared as systems trained under the assault. "Shields at 60% and falling," reported the tactical officer. "We can't take much more of this." Captain Lee gritted her teeth. "Divert all non-essential power to shields. We need to buy more time." As the battle raged on, Ambassador Chen's plan was set in motion. Across the galaxy, on thousands of worlds, humans began broadcasting. They showed the unprovoked attack on Earth, the bravery of human defenders, and the magnificence of the Dreadnought in action. Many species, long fed propaganda by the Galactic Council, saw for the first time the true face of humanity. They witnessed not the warmongers they had been told about, but a species fighting desperately for survival against overwhelming odds. Back in the solar system, the tide of battle was turning. The Dreadnought, despite taking heavy damage, stood firm against the alien onslaught. Its weapons blazed continuously, each shot finding its mark with deadly precision. Suddenly, new signals appeared on the tactical display. Ships were emerging from hyperspace all around the solar system. But they weren't Galactic Council reinforcements. "We're receiving transmissions," the communications officer reported, her voice filled with disbelief. It's the Arcturians, the Zeta Reticulans, even the Andromedans. They say they're here to help us." A cheer went up throughout the Dreadnought. Humanity's bravery had not gone unnoticed. Species that had long chafed under the Galactic Council's rule saw in Earth a chance for change. As allied ships joined the fight, the Galactic Council forces found themselves outmatched. One by one, alien fleets began to retreat, unable to stand against the combined might of humanity and its new allies. In the command center on Earth, tears of joy and relief flowed freely. Against all odds, humanity had not only survived but triumphed. "We did it," Sarah whispered, watching as the last council ships fled the solar system. General Rodriguez nodded, a rare smile on her face. "We did. But this is just the beginning. The galaxy will never be the same after today." As the dust of battle settled, one thing became clear. Humanity was no longer the newcomer to be mocked or dismissed. With the Dreadnought leading the way, Earth had earned its place among the stars. The age of human ascendancy had truly begun. In the weeks following the Great Battle, the galaxy buzzed with news of humanity's victory. The once mighty Galactic Council had been humbled, their fleets scattered across the stars. Earth, once dismissed as a backwater planet, now stood at the center of a new galactic order. On a clear, sunny day, the streets of every major city on Earth were packed with cheering crowds. Holographic displays showed similar celebrations on human colonies and allied worlds across the galaxy. Today was the day of Earth's vindication. In New York, now home to the newly formed Galactic Alliance, a grand ceremony was underway. The sleek form of the Dreadnought hovered majestically over the city, a symbol of human ingenuity and determination. President Rodriguez stood on a stage before a diverse crowd of humans and aliens. Beside her were Ambassador Sarah Chen, General Maria Rodriguez, and Captain Zara Lee, the heroes of Earth's finest hour. Today, President Rodriguez began, her voice carrying across the hushed crowd. We celebrate not just a victory, but a new beginning. We faced extinction and emerged stronger. We were mocked, and we proved our worth. She gestured to the alien delegates in the front row. To our new allies, we say thank you. Your courage in standing with us will not be forgotten. Together, we will build a galaxy of equality and mutual respect. As the president spoke, on the far side of the galaxy, the remnants of the Galactic Council convened in secret. High Counselor Zixtal, his tentacles drooping in defeat, addressed the small gathering. We underestimated the humans, he admitted bitterly. Their Dreadnought was beyond anything we could have imagined. And now, they lead the galaxy. What do we do now? A delegate asked, fear evident in their voice. Zixtal's eyes narrowed. We adapt. We survive. And perhaps, we learn. Back on Earth, Ambassador Chen took the stage. The crowd fell silent, eager to hear from the woman who had faced the Galactic Council's scorn and emerged triumphant. When we first joined the galactic community, Sarah said, her voice strong and clear, we were treated as children. We were mocked, belittled, and threatened. But we refused to back down. She paused, her gaze sweeping over the audience. The Dreadnought was born from necessity, but it represents so much more. It stands for human resilience, our ability to face impossible odds and emerge victorious. As if on cue, the Dreadnought's engines flared to life, its massive form rising higher into the sky. The crowd gasped in awe, aliens and humans alike craning their necks to watch. But our greatest strength, Sarah continued, is not our technology or our weapons. It's our spirit, our unwavering determination to forge our own path among the stars. General Rodriguez stepped forward next. The Dreadnought will remain a symbol of our resolve, she declared, but it will never again be used to threaten or intimidate. From this day forward, it stands as a guardian of peace for all species. Captain Lee, still bearing scars from the Great Battle, was the last to speak. To those who doubted us, who thought we were too young or too weak to have a place among the stars, we say this: humanity has arrived. We extend a hand of friendship to all who would join us in building a better galaxy. As the ceremony concluded, fireworks exploded in the sky, their colors mingling with the setting sun. The Dreadnought performed a series of intricate maneuvers, drawing gasps and cheers from the crowd below. In the years that followed, the galaxy entered an unprecedented era of peace and cooperation. The Galactic Alliance, led by Earth but representing all species equally, ushered in a new age of exploration and scientific advancement. The Dreadnought, once feared as a weapon of war, became a symbol of unity. It led missions of peace, exploration, and aid across the galaxy. Other species, inspired by human innovation, began developing their own magnificent ships, each adding to the collective knowledge and capabilities of the Alliance. And so, The species that was once mocked and dismissed became the architects of a galactic golden age. Humanity had not just earned its place among the stars, it had reshaped the very nature of galactic society. As for the Galactic Council, they eventually joined the Alliance, humbled but wiser. The galaxy had learned an important lesson. Never underestimate the species that calls Earth home.